Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my corner of the internet. My name once again is Jason, and today we're back with some more Hacker Evolution Untold. Now I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is I've discovered the problem behind my constant crashing, so we should not have that going forward any longer. The bad news is, when recording this last part of the video, I forgot to turn my mic on, so I'm going to have to do the commentary, we'll say, post-recorded. So basically, I got back to the point where we were before, and now we're going to go back, we'll say, jump into the wireless.homeland.link. I believe we were decrypting it in the last episode. I will be so glad to start recording this again with without having any crashes and remembering to turn my mic on, because this is actually rather difficult. I find when you're recording commentary after the fact, it really it's not the same. You don't get that same sort of dynamic feedback. You know, that in the moment kind of well, say commentary. So basically what we're doing right now is we're decrypting the wireless.homeland.link. If you don't like the post commentary type thing, I'm really sorry. Like I said, this is not my intention. If you do like it though, hey, you know what, we'll consider this episode an experiment. Go ahead and let me know. Drop a comment in the comment section, hit me up on Twitter, whatever. Just let me know what your thoughts are on live commentary versus post-recorded. Now, I think I actually might have used too many bounces that time. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to... that's right, I'm checking my hard drive at this point. I'm trying to figure out what I have. Now I notice I've got the admin 99 exploit and the FTP 98 exploit, which will allow me to crack into port 99 and 98 on whatever systems I happen to find. So this is great because wireless.homeland.link has port 99 open. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to get into there, because yeah, a 66 character password is a little bit too much to go ahead and crack. Oh yeah, so see, I'm not sure what's coming up, so I don't know if I'm going to be needing to comment on something on the game, or if I'm going to, if I'm free to talk about something, which is one of the benefits of having, like I said, live commentary. So we're going to go ahead and connect. I'll see what we got in there. Oh yes. I do remember what I talked about for the most part. You'll notice that there's one file called encrypt.salt. Now, as you can see here, it's pretty much useless information. But what I did originally talk about, because I was talking the whole time, I thought my mic was on, so I was like, yeah, yada, yada, yada. And from what I recall, because I actually did, back when I first started this Let's Play, which is ages, this is like my longest running Let's Play, and it really should not have taken this long. But back around then, I was a little bit more familiar with, we'll say, hacking terms and stuff, because there was a whole ethical hacker certification thing that I was looking at, and I was doing my own independent research on it, and I was training myself. So I wasn't having formal training, but I was training myself. And one thing about encryption that I remember, it was for internet security or network security. Anyways, I'm getting off topic here. Salt is basically when you're encrypting something. It's, think of it like a decoder ring, right? You know, you got your code, you got your password, whatever, and you want to mix it all up. You want to kind of you're encrypting it, right? You're making it so that people have to figure out what it actually is. But the thing is that people can still sort of figure it out by, you know, running it through different things. I'm not going to get into the details of that. So what you do is sometimes to the encrypted hash, basically to your encrypted and all messed up, you know, password, you go ahead and you add salt. Basically, these are random characters, random things that make it harder to decrypt, because they're not actually even part of the base, part of the password, or part of what you're you're encrypting. So salt is kind of like a little thing you add. It's kind of like food to make things a little bit more pleasant. So what I did was I just deleted the link.config, which completed my second objective, I believe it was that I needed to shut down his wireless internet connection. And I did that. I deleted it. And it is gone. So at this point here, I believe there's really no other choice but to go ahead and crack one of the ports. So I think I was working my way down. Yes, I was. We went from down to port 8080. And we're going to go ahead and crack that. Now, I'll say one good thing. It was at this point in the game. Maybe I should probably get some more upgrades because things are taking a little while, but I guess it's also not a bad thing because it still gives me time to rattle on and on and on and on and on and on. Which reminds me, I never did explain what the problem was with the game. So what the problem was, why it was crashing, actually had to do with the soundtrack, apparently. In a previous video, I showed people how to use the DLC from one game pack in all the different games. Now, I believe, if I recall correctly, I purchased the DLC originally for Hacker Revolution Untold. So I didn't have to fool around with Untold, which means that the problem was built right into the game, and I think it actually might have had something to do with the DLC. But even then, it wasn't restricted to just computer with the DLC. Like, I have Hacker Revolution on my other laptop, and it doesn't crash on there, ever. So I don't know what's up with that. But basically the fix was, there's a text file that has the number of different soundtracks, different songs, or you know what I'm trying to say. And I had to reduce it by 2. So I went right down from I believe 13 down to 11, and then that fixed things. So I am playing with a, we'll say, more limited soundtrack, but at least the game's not going to crash. So maybe I'll just mix things up every once in a while and reorder. We'll put the tracks in a different order on the playlist so that I can still hear everything. But at least the game is running, and that's got me excited because I was all gung-ho last time I restarted the game. I was like, all right, let's do this. We're going to play some Hacker Revolution. I'm going to play through this game. I started this like years ago, actually. Yeah, it was, what was it? 20 to, when did I get my this horrible piece of crap laptop that's currently dying on me? Please don't die on me until I can afford a new computer. Please don't die on me. I want to say 2010, 2011 or something. And Hacker Revolution was one of the first games I actually bought on Steam, so I think that's what it was. I think so, if I'm remembering right. So this Let's Play has been going for quite a while. So basically, I've gone ahead and I've completely cracked wireless.homeland.link, and we're gonna go ahead and connect because I noticed there was it 4 files, I believe, on the server. So I wanted to log on in and see what I could find. And we have linkfailure.log. So we'll go cat linkfailure.log, and we get the we'll say the network address for cable 01 rather .homeland.link. Come on. Oh yeah, I had some hard times typing while recording this video. To explain it to you guys, basically my recording setup is actually very, for lack of a better term, we will call it ghetto fabulous. It's pretty bad. It's like the desk itself is not bad. And I've got my monitor, and it's hooked up to my laptop. But for the actual recording part, I have I think this is a shelf bracket, which I have electrical taped what is this? Clothes hanger with some tights over it. That's acting as my pop filter. And then I'm using the slots on the side of the microphone, and I've sort of slid it onto, I think you would call it a bracket. Anyways, to pop it on top of there. So my microphone looks ridiculous. And it's not a really good microphone either. It's like, I picked it up at like Value Village. It's like you know, almost thrift shoppy, and it's I think it's what, SingStar or something. I just using this random mic, so it's not that sensitive. It's got a really bad hiss, so I keep the recording volume down, and I try to keep my face close to the microphone to reduce the amount of hiss going on in the background. So I'm constantly leaned over to make sure my mouth is as close to my microphone pop filter shelf bracket as close as possible to, and then I have a sliding out tray that I have my keyboard on. Well, when I'm leaning right over to talk, so a lot of times my tray ends up going underneath the desk, so my hands are in between the tray and the top of the desk, and I'm typing in there. It's not that I need to look at the keys, it's just that my fingers keep hitting the top of my desk, and it makes for some difficult typing. So you'll notice a lot of, we'll say, typos and errors like that during this playthrough. So let me see here. We've gotten into cable. Let's see. We've decrypted it, and we have a password that's 64 characters long. But I've got an exploit. But I forgot how to use this exploit, evidently. There we go. Cable 1, and we have successfully cracked cable 1. 01. 01 technically. 01 is O is a letter. Yeah. Why are you? Oh, forgot the port. Alright, so now at one point here we are going to come across something, if I recall correctly, where I'm going to have to do a lot of reading. So, let's see, block.log. So I'm probably going to want to delete link.config, but I want to look inside of it first. And it's a good thing I did, because it actually gives us two addresses. One for desktop-japan.homeland. It's actually JP, because I believe the guy's name that we're hacking into, his initials are JP. So I'm going to go ahead and scan these two, and they're going to pop up on our map. And then after that, then I'll go ahead and delete the link.config. And then I believe that will complete the next objective for this mission. Let's see here. Now that's actually something else I noticed. No. Ah, crap. All right. I noticed a couple little buffering problems while playing back the videos. Like I said, I'm doing post-recording, right? Commentary. So my what happened? I don't know. For some reason, sometimes my video player decides it wants to buffer the video while it's on my hard drive. Figure that out. It's not exactly a large video file, but I don't know. It's probably the player I'm using. Anyways, so my sound is probably going to be out of sync from this point. Wonderful. As if this episode wasn't cursed enough. Well, I guess it's all right that I'm not exactly commentating exactly on what's on the screen. Now, one thing, I was scanning a bunch of IP addresses, because I found those in the, what file was that? The block.log. And I find it interesting that every one of the addresses in this game, they all have like a name associated with them. You know, they've got an actual, I guess we'll call it a domain name, just to keep things simple. You know, just like how, you know, everything on the net, every website, every computer has an IP address. But, you know, IP addresses tend to be a little bit more difficult to remember. So what tends to happen is we attach names to them. So you'll have one IP address, and we'll say it's actually, let me see. Let's start over again. I'm getting tongue-tied. You say you go into your web browser and you type in www. Well, you don't even need to put that anymore. You just type in google.com, and Google comes up. Well, what happens is you're actually sending out the request for google.com. Google, it's like, I don't know where that is. So it goes to a, come on, I'm a little bit rusty on my networking stuff. Dynamic game server? DNS server, I think. I believe that's correct. Go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to be spreading misinformation, so if I got something wrong, please correct me in the comment section below, and I will give you a thumbs up, and I will say that you are right and you are awesome. But anyways, so it goes ahead and the name you submit goes there, and it says, oh, I got this. I know what the IP address is for that, and it directs you to that IP address. That's very simplified, very oversimplified, but it just to give you an idea. Think of it as sort of your operator. You know, back in the day, you press 0. I think it's 411 now for the most part, on like cell phones and that. So that's what happened. So it actually kind of surprised me. It's kind of interesting that you can't actually connect to an IP address directly in this game. It's like everything is working through a DNS server-esque type thing, when in reality, and more like, oh great, it's buffering again, so I'm about to get even more out of sync. The audio, what am I saying? The audio, you know what I'm saying? It should be more, it should allow you to use your IP address. Now, I have a little bit of a hard time scrolling here, so I'm going to go ahead and read what came up on the screen. Like I said, I'm probably out of sync. So, John, hi there. What happened that we have the government on our head? Unknown. You know, John, we have created this wonderful advertising software that interacts with people and the environment surrounding them. It has completely changed the way advertising works. Ads were no longer being displayed at random times in random places. They were displayed exactly to the relevant person at the relevant time. Then we have decided to take this one step into the future. The software started analyzing people's real-life habits, what they buy, where they go, and what they do, etc. At some point, the entire code became too complex. But it worked, so we didn't care. John, I know this already. I did some of the work myself. Pointless exposition because we need to tell the player stuff. It could have made it more natural. Unknown. At some point, after it already has become too complex. Okay, seriously, proofread this. At some point after it already has, become should have two O's, complex, something interesting has happened. I guess that should have been had too. It's got weird tenses. Anyways, the software found an individual whose habits and life pattern weren't profitable in any of the running advertising campaigns. After all options were exhausted, it decided to... And now I have to wait for myself to scroll down. So basically, we have the super smart computer. Actually, I don't even think we really covered the story too much, because I think a lot of that was explained in the first Hacker Evolution, and it wasn't really reiterated too much in Untold. And I think at this point I was actually going on a big rant about how things should be proofread, because I noticed there's a lot of, you know, simple grammatical errors in this. And I don't claim to be the perfect, perfect writer by any stretch of the imagination, but at least, you know, come on. Okay, so it scrolled down for me. So after all options were exhausted, it decided to handle the individual like any poorly performing ad, cancel it, and it found a way to do it. John, this is a feature without which I am just happy. How do we make sure this won't happen again? Unknown. I'm not sure, John. The entire software is already too complex, and shutting it down isn't something simple. There are thousands of modules running on thousands of chips, from the servers in our data centers to virtually every electronic thing in places where people go. And secure chat transcript. Yeah, that was really secure. I found that no problem. Also, no buy or anything? Seriously? It's like you know, these movies where who talks like that? Nobody talks like that. Where they're like, hey, how you doing? You want to go for a barbecue? Sure. Click. They just hang up. It's like, people, seriously, have some manners. Let's see, this log documents uncommon FTP usage patterns for scrutiny by a qualified webmaster. Misuse of these logs can result in significantly reduced traffic to your service. This is in the guy's home. Really? I don't know why I would say that, but anyways, so at this point I'm going ahead and I try the IP addresses again, and once again, server unreachable. which is funny because that would be a much more common error if you were just typing in words. And there's a bit of this. Oh yes, I can't commentate things in real time anymore because I'm out of sync. I wonder how meta that is. I'm like, I'm out of sync during this recording that you're listening to, but I'm aware of it while it's happening. Whoa. Excuse me. Alright, so anyways, yeah, there's nothing there. UDT port. I think that's pretty much it for this this port. Let me take a scan here. Now it's got $4,000 on it, so we definitely want to crack into desktop. 64 character password. Now, at this point here, I think, if I recall correctly, yes, I decided that it was better to go after the firewall rather than the desktop computer. My reason for this was, you know, it's initially tempting to want to go and, okay, let's clear this node, let's clear this node, let's finish this node, let's finish this node, and just, you know, progressively move on to the next nodes. When in actuality, I find it's better in the game to target weaker points and work your way up to the larger points. So I decided to go ahead and decrypt and attack the firewall because the it was actually password protected by fewer characters, by half the characters. Technically, the trace amount still gets knocked down by the same amount, but I found that by design in the game, and we are buffering again for some strange reason, so I'm about to become even more out of sync. Oh my. All right. Yeah, so it's better to a lot of times target the weaker places, because what the game designers did is they tended to put exploits and stuff in your less protected nodes, and so okay. And if you see the game pause come up, I think that's actually coming up shortly. At this point here was when I realized, I'm like, wait a second, I turned my mic off during my there was another recording, and I was like, no. So at this point here, I was throwing a little hissy fit. If you could have heard me, that would have been awesome, because then you would have been able to hear me. But anyways, as I was saying, the game designers tend to put the exploits for tougher places in weaker places. So it's always good to hit those easier places. Now, another thing that I discussed, in this video, and I'm surprised I'm able to remember all this, was the concept of it is better. I said that really weird. Better, because I wanted to make it sound like I'm saying better with a D instead of a T, because better sounds like it's overpronounced. Anyways, I'm sorry. Very self-conscious. Yes, the concept that it is better, there we all say that anyways, to overbounce than it is to underbounce. And what I mean by that is it's better to bounce through too many points, too many nodes, to achieve your objective than it is to underbounce. And let's say you need 2 nodes to bounce through to be able to decrypt something, for instance, and you only use 1 node to bounce, and while it's decrypting, you realize, holy cow, this is not going to work. So what you end up having to do is you have to type in abort. Now the problem with that is another buffering thing. I'm even more out of sync now. I'm not even going to bother commenting what's on the screen anymore. I'll tell you what's on the screen before I say it, because I think I'm ahead of you guys now. Maybe I'll just delay myself. I'll slow down, and I'll talk about stuff that appeared on the screen a second ago. Yeah, so you realize, holy crap, I need to abort. And so you go ahead and you type in abort, But then, what happens is it stops trying to decrypt or crack or whatever it is, but it still uses up your bounce. So you've needlessly just wasted a bounce. Now, and then you've got to use another bounce again when you're trying to get in. So you end up using 2 bounces for the place. Now, if you overbounce, for instance, on the same place, and you say, let's say you tried to use 3 nodes to bounce into this one node, you crack it. You actually get you get your progress, and yes, you technically used 1 too many bounces, but you still get to go in. And you know what? Technically, there's really no difference. So yeah, actually, there's technically no difference. I still think it's better to overbounce, though, than to underbounce. What you want to target, though, is exactly how many bounces you need. That's basically it. You want to hit exactly what you need. You don't want to... what am I saying here? Come on, brain! Yeah, you don't want to go over or under, but... And I suppose... if you go 1 over or 1 under, the penalty is still the same. So, never mind what I said. It's not better to do one or the other. It's better to just get things right the first time. Yes. Right now, at this point here, I think I just went nuts. What I'm watching right now, you're probably on it by now too, is I am decrypting, sorry, I'm cracking port 100 on the desktop .-jp. And right now it says 4 characters, 3 characters, 2 characters, 1 character. And I'm saying this because I want to see how out of sync I am later. Alright, so I need to retrieve the chat transcript from his computer. And actually at this point here, I actually got a little confused because I wasn't able to actually find it. I find tithe.cht, which I'm going to read for you now. John, Tithe, hi. What's up, Jono? I wanted to chat with you, actually. We've been getting some pretty weird raw data out of VG. John, I guessed that. Haven't seen it myself yet, but I've been investigating. Can we meet up, Tithe? Sure. I'll see you at the office. John, no. I fancy a meal. I know a nice old-fashioned place. They don't even take plastic. ... I've texted you the address. 8-ish? Tithe, I'll see you there. So I thought that the tithe.cht file was the chat log I needed. So I went and I downloaded that. And that's what it's currently happening right now on the screen. Now, what you'll notice is a little bit later on, I actually start to become very confused because my objective is not completed. So what I end up doing is I'm going around looking everywhere, and then I realized that the first chat log that I read out loud, the really long one, is the one that I need to download. So I end up having to delete the tithe.cht to actually get it on my hard drive. Well, technically not my hard drive. Oh dear, I hit my mic. I'm bad for that. That's another thing I mentioned. Actually, I hit my mic the first time too. I tend to, we'll say, talk with my hands, especially when my hands are not occupied, like while I'm waiting for things to download, transfer, because right now I'm transferring the money from the desktop. So my hands aren't busy, so they're in the air, they're swinging around because I talk with my hands. I'm like, blah, 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 you know, je suis français, je parle français, je parle avec mes mains. And so I hit the microphone again, and I'm making a much bigger deal about this than I really need to. Yeah, so I'll stop talking about hitting my microphone. Oh yes, that's what I was going to say. We don't have a hard drive with our computer. Our computer, its only memory is tends to be its, I believe it's what they call it, QRAM, because that sounds nice and futuristic. QRAM. At least it's not XRAM. Everything's always X. X or Z. XZRAM. Oh wait, they got Zenti. That's right. So what I ended up doing, let's see, I have got one gigabyte of the RAM. So when I actually get to, and it's going to happen shortly, some point. You're going to see the chat-log.upload. You'll notice that it's actually 1.5 gigabytes, roughly translated, which is more than the memory I have, because my computer does not have a hard drive. It stores everything in RAM. And I've actually used, we'll say, a hacker setup like that before, where you basically load the entire operating system off the disk, and you got no hard drive, everything's just loaded into RAM. But anyways, I'm not getting off topic. Well, no, actually, it's still on topic. So what I need to do is I need to purchase another upgrade. So I upgrade my memory with another 1 gigabyte of QRAM, just like the nice message from Steve. From Steve at mail.steve.server. That's a weird address. Not incorrect. You know, that could happen, but it's just still a weird address. So he suggests we go ahead and we buy another 1 gigahertz CPU, which I don't listen to, but I do buy the other gig of RAM, which I even need to get the transfer. Not the transfer. Come on, brain. The chat transcript. Which is ridiculous because that's a very small, like a 1.5 gigabyte chat transcript that's less than a page long. I love the file sizes in this game. It's just so unrealistic. Speaking of unrealistic, I can't remember if I've addressed Uplink versus Hacker Revolution at any point. If not, I'll go back and look at my own videos. If I haven't, then I'll be discussing that probably in the next episode. Because a lot of people say, Uplink is more realistic, it's more like real hacking. To which I would shake my head and say, no, neither of them are really like real hacking. And I would actually say Hacker Revolution is a little bit more rooted in reality than Uplink. So anyways, I've completed the level at this point in my commentary. It says select yes to advance to the next level. Yada 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 yada. So if it was pausing, I'm trying to remember here. That's right, I gotta sync up my end now. I haven't thought about this. So I got all the money, I checked everything, I hit next level, and it says congratulations, level completed successfully. So to make sure that I get everything in with video, so you're not sitting looking at a black screen, I'm just going to end things right now. I'd like to thank you so much for watching and putting up with this. Let me know what you preferred, post or you know, actual in-game commentary, and let's just let me know. Until next time, game on.